storyboard is going to take a producer on the journey of different stages that are there in making a movie and the decisions he needs to take at each stage. The first stage is basically what genre of movie should he produce, and of course, in which country should he produce the movie. We can see that the horror genre here speaks the maximum volumes. The reason being the budget is relatively median or small, but the ROI is maximum. Additionally, even if we look at the movie or the genre of horror movies across different content ratings, we can see that they generate the maximum median ROI if we neglect short movies, because there was only one short movie here. Additionally, if we go down, we can also see that in this graph here, horror movies have the lowest, you can say, average IMDb score. But if you look at the correlation matrix, we can see that there's no relationship between the IMDb score and the ROI, and hence we're good to go at this metric. And lastly, we can see that America has about 3,553 movies, allowing the producer to be more or less certain that this is the right media or the region in which he needs to produce his movie, because they're more or less more accepting towards various movies. Once he's more or less zeroed in on the genre, he needs to now decide what are the right directors and actors to make this movie successful. And we've come up with a small metric here to help him, where we're seeing that the score, which is a function of the profitability and the reputation. And based on the multiple calculations, we've seen that for a particular budget out here, Alfred Hitchcock is the best director to go for, as well as the best actor is Jamie Lee Curtis. And you can play around with different metrics on the side here, allowing you to choose the right set of actors and directors. Once the movie started being created by a director and actor, it's more or less a creative, organic process. The producer relatively less say. But once you come closer to the marketing aspects of the movie towards the end of the schedule, it's more important to understand what are the kind of keywords, the kind of taglines that the movie needs to have so as to create a resonance with the audience. And looking at horror movies on a particular budget, we can see that words like experiment or Halloween, even scientists, need to be more or less portrayed in the posters or all the messages that go, so that people can actually correlate this to horror and increase your ROI. Lastly, the number of faces that are actually there on a poster also really impacted ROI. And we can see that for horror movies, 5 faces makes the most sense. And if you look at the Scooby-Doo movies, you had about 4 or 5 faces there too. And they did relatively well, allowing us to believe that this makes a lot of sense. And lastly, once the movie is released, right, it's more in the hands of your critics as your reviews, who can be given by users and critics. So I tried studying the effect of critic reviews on ROI, and we can see that about 400 critics is the sweet spot where you can maximize your ROI. And after this, it more or less reduces, because maybe there come a dime a dozen and people don't know who to follow. And maybe below that also people feel the movie is not good enough, which is why they don't follow it enough. On the other aspect, when you look at the number of user reviews that affect ROI, we can say that about 1,200 user reviews are required. And this is understandable because users don't cast as wide a net as reviewers do or critics do. But the interesting thing is, above 2,200 user reviews, we can see that there's a linear increase in the number of ROI growth per user. And that more or less helps us understand that because the movie is being more successful, more people are talking about it, and hence it's correlating to the more revenue that the movie is creating. All in all, this is the storyboard we've tried creating, allowing a producer to take multiple decisions at every step of creating a movie. Hopefully this helps him create a blockbuster.